Yeah, worry not. You actually just don't have to listen to the three of us for the next 30 minutes. I am so very happy to welcome back Harry. He's been around the USL for a hot minute these days. It's been a while since you've been on the show, even, but Harry, welcome back all the way from San Antonio.
Thank you. I thought I got a red card the last time, so I've served my time. I think that's why Ray's not here. All honestly, I know he mentioned that he wanted to go to a Clippers game. Why would anybody go to a Clippers game? Who knows? But here I am. Too. Although they are winning, but they're playing Dallas, so it is what it is.
I think that means it's not an impressive win, but the only thing I know is that the Kings are really bad. It's not a basketball podcast, and that's fine. Harry, I do appreciate you coming on. God knows what that red card suspension was for. Probably some sort of violent conduct, if I had to guess. It's been a few years. Will you just... It's been a crazy week for Orange County, as you may have guessed, as the last 30 minutes may have even suggested. Will you run us through what the first 4 or 5 matches have been like for San Antonio?
So for San Antonio, to me, it kind of started like last year. I'm hoping we don't have the same ending as last year. They came out well, very defensive this year. The only goal that they've allowed is a PK to Phoenix in the first game in league play. They did play Tulsa in Open Cup and went to extra time, lost in 1-0 at home. So like you guys, we did lose at home in Open Cup to another USL championship team. To me, the disappointing part is we went to Monterey Bay and we had a 0-0 draw, which Monterey Bay in their form, to me, that was kind of a loss. Very defensive. We had, well, San Antonio plays very well defensively, but I guess kind of very similar to Orange County. They're struggling on putting the ball in the back of the net. I think we have 5 goals and you guys have 4 goals, or maybe vice versa. Yeah, we've scored 5. You guys have scored 4. So it'll be interesting to see who can score on this game. Last match, we had 60% of the possession as well, but no shots on goal. So it was one of those frustrating games where they'd move the ball up to the final third, couldn't break them down, work it all the way back, try back up. And it was just, to me, it was a game where, and they did a lot of player rotation, to be fair, but it was one of those games where you just kind of sit back and you're like, they're just trying for the road draw, which against Monterey Bay, you would like to get a little bit more than that, in my opinion, but it's not an L. So for San Antonio, I think they're first place right now? Yeah, because El Paso has only played 4 games. So we've got 11 points, 3 wins, 2 draws. I know you guys have the 1 loss this past week to New Mexico, which probably should have been a draw. Unlike Chris, give me the PK. I don't care how it comes for that here. But to me, it's going to Orange County for San Antonio is always tough. I still haven't forgot the Western Conference Championship final that went to PKs, which you guys won and which ended up winning your title in Tampa. I think it was Tampa that year, right? In Tampa. So it's always a fun game. It's always a physical game. I was reading on social media that both teams, I think, are in top 5 as far as fouls given. So it'll probably be a choppy game for that here, but who knows?
Who knows? Harry, thank you for a wonderful rundown. I saw he's managed to score this season. Alex Cronoli, formerly of Orange County at one point. Will you run us? I mean, he's certainly a more senior figure in the league at this point than he was when he was with Orange County. Run us through. Is he the heart of the defense? What's going on with him these days?
He's one of the key. Mitchell Tainer's still probably the heart and the captain. San Antonio's running 3 center backs for that here. They got. Make sure I get his name here. So they're running 3 center backs. Typically, it's Tainer. Let me switch the lineup here. Tainer, Barbier, and Cronali. Barbier is on loan from the New England Revolution. So defensively, very, very strong, very experienced. Our goalkeeper, I'm hoping will be Joey Petroni, who's a second year out of the University of Virginia, San Antonio native, graduated from Lee High School for that year. So defensively, like I said here, very, very solid. Cronali, Tainter, Barbier, very solid. My thing is they're kind of weak against speed, especially on the outside, but they're very tall, very physical. So I think they'll be able to hold their own. My concern in kind of some of the games that we've seen is if they play a team that has speed on the outside, that has kind of opened San Antonio up a little bit for that here. Midfield, I do think they're very strong in with Mikey Maldonado and Jorge Hernandez. Pirano is playing more up top. Dmitry Irvov, and I can never pronounce his name, but he's a young Russian kid that they signed last year. Didn't do a whole lot, but year 2, he's really kind of stepped up. And like I said here, from the midfield perspective, a lot harder to break down San Antonio compared to last year. I think the midfield, especially with Mikey Maldonado, who came over from North Carolina, has solidified the midfield. To me, the key is trying to get the scoring, whether it's Patino or I think it's EJ Johnson along those lines up top. With Jorge and Pirano, and they've got a couple other teams. I will say for San Antonio, they're deeper than I thought with the signings. They kept a good core, and the players that they brought back, the new additions. So far early on have shown that they're a very deep team, so they've been able to do a lot of rotation as far as player rotation, because we had 2 games last week, we got 2 games this week, so it'll be interesting to see the lineup that they come out with. I'm assuming with the player rotation against Monterey Bay, where they kind of sacrificed the points a little bit for that, thinking that they could get away with it, and fair play to Monterey Bay, they played well. But I'm hoping for San Antonio that they do come out with their A team to try to push and get to 3 points against Orange County.
Well, I certainly hope they don't, but I appreciate your sympathies there, Harry. Larry, I believe you had a question.
Yeah, Harry, when a team plays 5 games to start the season and they only give up 1 goal in league, obviously they're doing something right. And I'm curious, just in your opinion, has it been stellar play from Petroni? Am I saying that right? Petroni?
Yeah. It's the defense. It's the back line.
Or is it the back line?
It's the back line and midfield. San Antonio, they don't park the bus, so they're not like back in the Alan Marcina days, where they just kind of sit back and counter and press and foul a lot. I know the last game they fouled a lot, don't get me wrong, against Monterey Bay, but to me, just the back line they have, they got Akeem Ward, and then Cuello or Nelson Blanco on the other side. So defensively, they're very experienced. They played well for a couple of seasons now, a lot of them, and just they're a hard team to break down for it here. So the goalkeeper, to be honest with you, is probably the weakest part of this team, with Richard Sanchez, who I don't know how he's still in the league, but he's still in the league. He started the last game. I'm assuming Joey Petroni will be the starter because he started most games for San Antonio in the league. So to me, Joey's came up big. He's still a young goalkeeper, so there has been a couple of mistakes that he's got away with, especially on delivering the ball out. His distribution's probably his weakest part, but he's a tall, young goalkeeper that I could see, if developed right, could possibly move up to MLS or go overseas, because he's 22, 23, I guess, graduated from college, so probably around that young age there. But for goalkeepers, that's still kind of young. But to me, for Joey Vitrini, like I said, he's our clear number one. And like I said, I'm looking forward to see with the growth that he continues to get. It'll be to be playing in a tough road environment will be good for him. Good test there at Championship Park, I think it's what it's called here.
Stadium.
Or Championship Stadium.
Yeah. One more for you, Harry. If you are the gaffer for San Antonio, you've only given up one goal again, but that's very impressive. You're playing against a team that is struggling to put balls in the back of the net. What are you telling your team right before you go out on the pitch?
I still think you got to hold defensively because that's Coach Lamosa is a defensive coach. He came in, that was his thing here. I do think, and I know I joked kind of, before thing, hey, do we think anybody's going to score in this game? Just because I think both teams do play defensively, which is to their strength. However, I do think both teams have the firepower if it does open up to where they can score. And some of it's just unlucky. There's been a few shots that, excellent goalkeeping from the opposition. Some of it's just been, just unlucky shots, deflections along those lines. So to me, like I said, the goal scoring will come, but as long as you can maintain that defensive presence, that defensive style, let's be honest with these, if you're only allowing one goal a game or less than a goal a game, generally speaking, most times you're going to come out with a win through here. And like I said here, if you're not allowing any goals, you're coming away with a point. And to me, if you win your 3 points at home and you're able to grab, a road draw, especially against a top 4 team like Orange County, that's, to me, that's not a bad result. If, let's say, we would have won, if we would have got the 3 points against Monterey Bay and Drew got the home, Drew against Orange County, I think that would have been acceptable, for the 2-game California trip, to draw 4 points in a back-to-back. But to me, dropping that point dropping those points in Monterey Bay from a San Antonio fan, I want the 3 points in Orange County. And I think they have the leadership to be able to do it. But obviously Orange County is also coming off of kind of a poor weekend probably for them, listening to your guys' show and knowing the quality that Orange County puts out. Losing to Phoenix is never fun. And then losing to New Mexico, how they lost, probably leaves a little bit of a sour taste, especially where I felt that should have been a draw at least along those lines. But sometimes that's how the game goes.
And Brad, he's part of the show. He put a question in the audience. Which SAFC are we more likely to see? The one that started off strong or the one that has not scored a goal in its last 2 matches?
That's the $1 million question, right? I think defensively they're going to be strong. I think just time-wise, I do think there'll be goals in this game, and I do think both teams will score just because I think the quality on both sides, the opportunities are there. They just haven't converted. And like I said here, I don't see it being a high-scoring game by any means. But, I could see a 2-1 game along those lines here. But, it just, to me, like I said, Orange County, San Antonio is always a tight game. As a San Antonio fan, I would love to see goals. But I'm assuming as an Orange County fan, you're like, no goals. So.
Right. That's all from me. I think Matty Elder has got a couple for you, Harry. So Matt, sure. All you, bud.
Yeah, I guess one question I would ask is, we're both kind of struggling for goals here a little bit. It's working out better for you guys, but what's something that you would change if given the role of manager, let's say, for a day, to try to address that?
So that's kind of tough because the one piece where I think San Antonio is missing, because with Pirano and Jorge Hernandez, they're both very attack-minded. along those lines here, but they haven't got the ball into Patino in positions where he can score. That's probably the thing I would like to do, is to see if they could try to get Patino, who's hopefully going to be our starter, into a position where in the middle where he can actually convert. It just, to me, if I'm coming off of the Monterey game, you gotta have, if you've got the possession 60% of the time, you've got to have the desire to be able to put the ball on frame along those lines here. Just having 60+% of the possession and no shots on goal. That to me is a poor performance, offensively, and that's something that hopefully they addressed. I don't know if they came home. I don't think they would, but who knows if they did. But to me, getting Patino, because our center forwards have not scored yet, that's the one area that I would like to see kind of be more of a pressing point. But breaking down the OC defense in the middle, as we have seen, has not been easy either. So
cool. Dylan, I'll take it back to you. Or is there anything else?
Let's make some predictions, because after all, us four are league geniuses over here. You will get no clout and no points for suggesting that very few goals will be scored in this match. But all the same, Harry, who's winning this match and what's the score going to be?
I'm going to go 1-0 San Antonio.
An inspired choice. Larry.
Who else? Yeah.
This is probably the most difficult game I think we've had all season to predict. We don't score. They don't give up goals. We don't give up a lot of goals. 0-0 will not surprise me, but I think that I think we're going to find one, and I think we're going to hold that clean sheet, and I'm going to say 1-0 Orange County.
Okay, I'll take it. Matt, before I head to you, Brad has chimed in and he's said 1-1 with dozens of happy dogs. Yeah, it is
Pups on the pitch.
Pups on the pitch should, bring your dogs, everybody. And yeah, if you do have any predictions, please let us know now after Matt.
I do have a theory that the games where you expect it to be a 0-0 are the ones that just some magic shit happens. I'm going to go 3-1 Orange County.
Oh, wow.
Bold.
I want to say it's going to be 4-3, something crazy, just end to end the whole time. Never mind you playing 3 at the back. Yeah, give me some chaos. I would actually like to, be entertained for 90+ minutes here. I think it's hard to look past the 0-0 draw here. I think both teams are obviously really struggling to score goals right now, and at some point, the fear of conceding is going to creep in and slow things down. So, I don't see us getting too much out of this one. And that's okay, because after all, like we said earlier, it's still early in the season. It's not time to panic yet. Do any of the three of you have any final thoughts of this match? Go ahead, Harry.
I will say, I'm just looking at the head-to-head. Most of these games are 1-goal games, with the exception there have been 4 blowouts. There are actually probably 3 blowouts, where San Antonio won 4-0 and San Antonio in 23. And in 2018, each team had a 3-0 win at the Orange County had 2 3-0 wins against San Antonio. Outside of that, most of the games have either been draws or one-goal games. So to me, these two teams, I think both on and off the field, are very close, very similar in nature on how they try to be leaders within the USL Championship, especially in the Western Conference. And both of the fan bases, while we chirp at each other a little bit, are very respectful to each other. But on the pitch, I have seen some fun shenanigans that take place And I'm looking forward to another one, although I hate the late night on a Wednesday, because that means I won't be going to bed till super late. So thank you for kind of training me tonight, so that way for tomorrow I can be used to staying up at this late, because it'll be just wrapping up about now, right? For
I
that
think
here,
about
so
14 minutes from now, yeah, should be all finished. So get your coffee in. I was going to say Midwesterners, but Texans, I think, is just a more accurate term. Something about the Alamo. I don't know.
I guess me saying Oregon is kind of like California is the same as saying Texas is Midwestern.
It's probably more the South than anything else. I'm sure I'll find out soon enough. Harry, thank you for joining us here. We appreciate it. Welcome back to the Orange Black Soccer Cast. And as you leave, where can people find more of you?
So yeah, you can find us on the show under SAFC Fancast. That's the one where we focus mainly on San Antonio FC news. We also do high school under SA Soccer Roundtable, although that's wrapping up this week with the state finals starting on Thursday. Not that you guys care about that in California, but for that here. And then for me, since my ramen call got hacked and unfortunately Elon said, hey, I can't find you, I did go to Ramen Call Soccer for that here as far as on X. I do believe I have the blue sky, but I'm not as active on there as I thought it would be. But no, it's always a pleasure to be on here. I know Ray and I have talked, Dylan and I have talked, Larry and I have talked, not a lot. Brad, I know he was scared to see me because going back to his Reno 1868 days for that here. So always a pleasure to come on. And obviously, Matt, first time being with you. And I'm glad you had Chris go first and had the better away guest come on second here. So I do thank you guys for that.
I will always appreciate how you Texans and New Mexicans just love to constantly take little bits out of each other. Harry, thanks again for joining us. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, Harry.